Craig Hopkins, and welcome to the AMD Installation Center. And you know, we got the patch panel video for you. It's the trifecta. We're going to patch a door. We're going to make a little hand patch for that. Show you how to do it. On the 55 Chevrolet right here with me, we're going to do a very low crown, large patch panel. And then on a Ford Torino, we're going to show you how to use a crown line to your advantage to help hold the panel up. 55 is going to be the hardest one we do, but we're going to get you through it. Now, what I want you to notice when we're doing these panels is they'll all be butt welded in place. We'll use the air to cool them down. That is a secret of patch panel. So follow along and have some fun with us. For this application, I'll make the cuts just inside, and you're going to see it happen. Remove it, see what's in there, how much we have to take out, clean it and rust treat it, and then we'll make a patch. And this is what we have. Because we use the corners to scribe them, it fits this down here perfectly. Now all I want to do, and this will be the final cut, and this is what I'm talking about when you make the patch to fit. Now this will be easy to do. If I made a hole like that and then tried to make a patch go down into it, believe me, that would be extremely difficult. Now the same thing applies. We're just barely going to put the end of the cutoff wheel down here. It's a very thin wheel, which helps. Cut that radius, and we'll clean all this up and treat it. Spray weld-through primer on there, butt weld that in there and grind it down. That's going to be a great patch. You know, that was a very cost-effective repair, and it's going to save a problem down the road in the paint work. If you leave something like that in the car and you paint over it, it will come back and bite you. Take your time, look around your car, and make your patches. That's been a lot of fun. But this back here, oh yeah, we have another project to patch because I have other stuff to show you. In order to get going when you're going to put a patch panel, and especially if it comes up against your door, the first thing that has to happen is you need to make sure that door is properly aligned. That fits well. Now that we've checked the door fit, let's check the panel itself physically and see what it will cover. You know, the good thing about this car is it carries two types of damage that you will be using patch panel for. We have collision damage, which is unique, requires a different method. And we have the rust. Well, we're coming to the end, and I want to use the rock on it to grind the weld down. Yeah, I like the rock, it's economical. And you can tell by looking at this one, I've got the economy out of it. The camera guy gives me all the time, you need a new one. I'm like, I haven't used it all up yet. And you'll be the same way. You're buying your materials, come on, have fun with your car. That's a 3/8 wide rock. I'll use it, I'll level the weld. I won't gouge the metal on either side. I'll come back with the 36 grit on the 3-inch angle grinder, level it up. We'll get a good look at what all this is going to look like. The great thing about this patch panel is it's going to require just a little bit of plastic filler, because I'm telling you, even Brad said it felt pretty good. So let's get going. We went through all of the steps, and really what it is meticulous fitting all the way. Make sure the door hangs on the car, make sure the panels are level, make sure the apertures are correct, and then don't be afraid to continue fitting the panel until it works perfectly. Butt welded panels will last a lifetime. Lapped panels will fail. The reason they fail, because you have a lap like this, you have open on the back, the moisture comes through there, begins to deteriorate the panel. I've seen it happen time and time again. That's lifetime repair. That's what I want you to do. Come back to chpvideos.com. Don't forget the S in videos, CHP videos, and learn some more. You know, I've made reference to the crown line several times during the video, and I want to talk about it. I didn't have the Torino that we had slated to come here, so I have a Fender here that's a perfect example of a crown line. And it also gave me another idea. I want to do a Fender patch because I've seen them done several different ways, but there's a right way and there's a wrong way. So when we patch the 70 Chevelle behind me today, I want to give you the correct information. Now, back to the crown line briefly, then we'll get to the patch. A crown line is merely a style line that the factory stamps into the car. And when it makes that shape, it becomes more structural. So if you work around the crown line, it'll hold up for you. I'll give you another word of caution on the Chevelle when I do it, but again, working close to a crown line within a half of an inch, it's easier to line the metal and it's easier to weld it. That's all I'm talking about on a crown line. Let's patch a fender. Let's get to the fender patch, and that's going to give us our trifecta of this video. Fender patch is a good patch because you're probably going to wind up doing it. The bottoms fall out of them frequently. But look, if you patch the fender on the car, you can make sure that the style lines, all the contours will work correctly. If you patch it off the car and weld it on, it may not work. This way it works every time. Also, all patches are not created equal. This is an Auto Metal Direct patch, very technically correct. It has the whole back end in it, the front end, the bottom inner structure in there. I'm just telling you, this is a good patch. Okay, I think by now with the tacks in place, you see why putting a patch with the fender on the car works so well. Make all the little adjustments and everything. If you were to weld this on a bench and it was wouldn't profile the door or the rocker, you'd have trouble. But now, all that remains to do is weld that shut. So let's go back and talk about the video real quick, because we did some interesting things. Started off on a door patch, hand-made a little patch panel. You saw how it went together. I like everything butt welded in place, and that's the secret of good patching. Then at the 55 Chevrolet, what are the things that we had to make sure of on the car to make the patch work? Well, it's a very low crown panel, so we fit very methodically, but it had to fit the door and the rocker, and all those things have to work together. You can't just make a patch or patch something and hope all the surrounding objects will fit it, because probably they won't. Your job is to control everything, and when it's all correct, like the fender here, now I can finish my welding. I came around the front. I had to make a little split in both panels because the end was just a little bit short. So as I did that, I made it progressively come around. It could fool your eye. Beauty for this car, carries a wheel opening molding. No one would see it under there anyways. Those are the little things that you do to make your patches correct. So don't be afraid to patch your car. Get your welder out and start going.